So students, we have seen K-map, we have studied K-map in the last 3-4 classes, and we did solve some of the problems in online class also. So now let us concentrate on the next topic, that is Quinn-McCluskey method. So what is Quinn-McCluskey method is? You have learned K-map to simplify the equation, right? We have learned K-map to simplify the equation. K-map is and we know that K-map is the simplest method to simplify any equation, right? And we also have some other techniques like Quinn-McCluskey. But when you study the Quinn-McCluskey technique, you will come to know that K-map is the simplest method of solving any switching equation, because that gives this equation. That is the fastest method of getting the equation, simplified equation. Of course, Quinn-McCluskey also gives us the simplified equation, but the tables that we have to construct in Quinn-McCluskey method is we need to construct 5 or 6 tables in order to get this simplified equation. That's a very long procedure, and we need more time to solve the equation compared to K-map. But anyhow, this you have in your syllabus also. But anybody, if you ask, they can ask you a question whether which method of simplifying the equation is preferred, means you always suggest it's a K-map, because K-map, once I solve a problem, you will come to know how easy is K-map, how easy is Karnaugh map to get the simplified equation compared to Quinn-McCluskey technique, Quinn-McCluskey method. So in this Quinn-McCluskey technique, since we need to construct so many tables to get the simplified equation, this problem will be asked for 12 marks or minimum 10 marks question it is in your examination. And you really have to be very attentive when you group the cells. Otherwise, some 1 or 2 terms you may not get properly. And I always suggest, once you solve the problem using Quinn-McCluskey technique, you always have to verify the answer using K-map. Or first only you solve the problem using K-map. Keep your answer ready. Solve using Quinn-McCluskey and you can verify the answer. Because we know that solving a problem using K-map will not take more than 2 or 3 minutes time. If the equations, the mean terms are simple, even in a minute we get the answer, right? So please spend your 1 or 2 minutes time to verify the answer what we get in Quinn-McCluskey technique. Okay? So what is Quinn-McCluskey method? I'll explain by taking an example. So here is an example. B is equal to f of a, b, c, d is equal to summation. What is the meaning of summation? The given terms are mean terms. 0, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 15. So first table, the first step, write the mean terms that are given in the question. I have written 0, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 15 in the same order how they are given in the question. So what are these? These are mean terms, right? So in the first table, write the mean terms, that is your first column. Second column, write the binary equivalent value for this. Binary equivalent value, that means how do you represent 0 in binary? How many variables we have in the question? 4 variables. So how do you represent 0? So if I take this as A, B, C, D, how do we represent 0 in binary? 0, 0, 0, 0. 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. 2, 0, 0, 1, 0. 3, 0, 0, 1, 1. 6, 0, 1, 1, 0. 7, 0, 1, 1, 1. 8, 1, 0, 0, 0. 9, 1, 0, 0, 1. 14, 1, 1, 1, 0. 15, 1, 1, 1, 1. Fine. Now the next column is write the number of ones present in each mean term. Number of ones. First mean term is what? 0. How many ones are present in 0? Can we see ones in 0? No. So how many ones are present? 0 ones. I don't find any ones in the mean term 0. Next, take the mean term 1. How many ones are there? Only 1. So in this, how many ones are there? 1. 2. How many ones are there? 1. 3. How many ones are there? 2. 6. How many ones are there? 2. 7. How many ones are there? 1, 2, 3. 3. 8. How many ones are there? 1. 9. How many ones are there? 2. 14. How many ones are there? 3. 15. How many ones are there? 4. Okay. Just look at the table. we have written the first table. Can you see? Yes. So we have written the first table. What is the first table? We have to write the number of ones present in each mean term. Number of ones present in each mean term. So what is our next step? What is the second step? So this is the first step. So hope all of you are clear with the first step. Now let us write the second table, that is the step. Maybe this step we need not consider. This is only for your reference. The next table is arrange all the mean terms in the list of increasing order depending on the number of ones present. Now you have to arrange all these mean terms in the increasing order. How? Depending on the number of ones present in the mean term. Let us construct here. Let me write it here. Hope all of you can see the table. Okay. So now what is the first column? First column I write group. Okay. Now I am grouping the mean terms depending on the ones present in the mean term. So the first column I take it as group. What is group 0? Group 0. What are the terms we get in group 0? Number of ones present in mean terms 0. Those mean terms will be grouped in group 0. Will be put in group 0. Group 1, which tells us that the mean terms, in the mean terms that are there in group 1, the number of ones present are 1. Similarly, number of ones 2, number of ones 3, number of ones 4. So group 0, group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. So now, just check out the mean term in the first table. Just see which are the mean terms that are having 0 ones. Which are the mean terms that are having 0 ones? We have only one mean term, that is 0. This particular mean term is having number of ones as 0. So group 0 is what? Group 0 contains the mean terms that are having the number of ones 0. So number of ones, which is that mean term? Mean term is 0. Number of, what is that binary equivalent value? Binary equivalent value is 0, 0, 0, 0. Number of ones 0. Number of ones 0. Next, any other mean term that can be put in group 0? No. Only mean term 0 is having 0 number of ones. So I have written in group 0. What is group 1? Mean terms that are having number of ones equal to 1. So which are the mean terms that are having only one mean term? Only one mean term. This is the one. Only one mean term. Only one mean term. Sorry, only one number of ones are equal to 1. Correct? So these are the mean terms that are having only one ones. Only one. Correct? Correct? Yes. So which are those mean terms? Mean term 1, mean term 2 and mean term 8. So mean term 1, 2, 8. 1, 2, 8 will come in group 1 because the number of ones present in these mean terms are 1. So what is 1? 0, 0, 0, 1. What is 2? 0, 0, 1, 0. What is 8? 1, 0, 0. So number of ones present in all these three mean terms are what? 1. Correct? What is group 2? All the mean terms that contains 2 ones. So which are the mean terms that contain 2 ones? This one, 2, 2 and 2. Which are those mean terms? 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9. So next is group 2, 3, 6, 9. Which are those? What do you represent 3? 0, 0, 1, 1. So 2 ones. 6, 0, 1, 1, 0. So 2 ones. 9 is what? 1, 0, 0, 1. So how many number of ones are there? 2 ones. Correct? What is group 3? The mean terms that contain 3 ones. Which is the mean term that contains 3 ones? Mean term 7 and mean term 14. So the group 3 is mean term 7, mean term 14. 7 is what? 0, 1, 1, 1. 14 is what? 1, 1, 1, 0. Group 4 is what? 4 ones. Which is the only mean term that is having 4 ones? 15. So 15 will be in group 4. 1, 1, 1, 1. So number of ones present here is 3, number of ones present here is 4. So this is the basic table that we are going to construct. Based on this, the next table will be written. So this table, the starting table, is very important. Are you getting? So how the second table is constructed? Depending on the number of ones. We have arranged all the mean terms in the increasing order depending on the number of ones present in the mean term. Right? Is it correct? So now let us write the next table. So listen very carefully. So what is next table is? You have to create a new table showing the mean terms in group n. You have to create the next table showing the mean terms in group n that are matched with mean terms in group n plus 1 such that they differ only in one position. I'll explain. What is that? I'll just erase the first table. Hope you have written the first table in your notes. If it is required, let us come back to the first table and let us verify. But you need to write this in your notes also. Okay. So now what is next table is? Same columns we have in next table also. Group. The first column is group. Next mean term. Next binary equivalent value, that is A, B, C, D. Then what? Prime implicant. I'll tell you what is a prime implicant now. So now what you have to do is, you have to compare the mean terms that are present in group n. Compare the mean terms that are present in group n with n plus 1. If n is 0, what is n plus 1? 1. That means if you have to compare the mean terms in group 0 with group 1. If n is 1, what is n plus 1? 2. That means all the mean terms that are present in group 1 are to be compared with group 2. If n is 2, what is n plus 1? 3. So compare group 2 mean terms with group 3. Similarly, compare group D3 mean terms with group 4. So you have to compare the mean terms that are present in nth group with n plus 1 group. So, very simple. Compare all the mean terms that are present in group 0 with group 1. Group 1 with group 2. Mean terms of group 2 with group 3. Group 3 with group 4. When you compare, when will you group the mean terms of group 0 with group 1? Only when they differ in only one position. That means, let me compare group 0 mean terms with group 1. How many mean terms are there in group 0? Only one, that is 0. So I have to compare 0 with 1, 0 with 2, 0 with 8. All the mean terms that are present in group 0 are to be compared with group 1. Compare 0 with 1, 0 with 2, 0 with 8. Now compare 0 with 1. First let me compare 0 with 1. What do you have in A? For 0 it is 0, for 1 it is 0. Same. B 0, 0. C 0, 0. D, here it is 0, here it is 1. That means 0, 1, if I group, they differ only in one position. Which is that position? D position. Only D variable is varying, whereas A, B, C all are same for 0 and 1. Now, I call this as group 0. Mean term. Which are the mean terms that we are grouped? 0, 1. We are now comparing 0 with 1. And when you compare the mean terms that are present in this group with this group, you have to write that particular group in the next table only if there is a difference of only one position. So when I compare 0 with 1, I can see only D is changed here. Only D is difference. Otherwise A, B, C all are same. So this particular group has to be included in the next table. If there is two variable difference, no need to write in the next table. That will not make a group. That mean terms cannot be combined. If I combine 0 with 1, so what is A for both 0 and 1? 0. What is B for both 0 and 1? 0. What is C for both 0 and 1? 0. But what is D for 0? What is D for 0? It is 0. What is D for 1? It is 1. So they differ in one position. So whichever position is different, for that you have to put dash. For that you have to put dash. dash. Why we write like this is, now we are comparing 0 and 1, right? What is 0? 0, 0, 0, 0. That means A bar, B bar, C bar, D bar. Mean terms. 1 plus. 1 is what? A bar, B bar, C bar, D. A bar, B bar, C bar, D. Which are the variables common here? A bar, B bar, C bar is common. Now D bar plus D. What is D bar plus D? 1. So A bar, B bar, C bar into 1 is what? A bar, B bar, C bar. So we have written A bar, B bar, C bar. For D we have put dash, which tells that D variable is eliminated. D variable is eliminated. Is it clear? That is why when you group the mean terms, there should be only one variable difference, only one position difference. Fine? Because of this reason, that particular variable will be completely eliminated because of this. Right? Now, compare 0 with 2. 0 with 1 comparison done. Compare 0 with 2. When you compare 0 with 2, just you have to concentrate 0 and 2. Don't look at the other mean terms. What is the value of A for 0? 2. 0? Same. C is different. C is different. D is same. So only one variable difference, that is C. So that has to be included in the next table. Only one variable difference? Yes, we can include. So what is the same group? What is the next grouping? 0, 2. If you group 0, 2, what is A? 0. What is B? 0. What is C? Dash. C variable is different, so that will be eliminated. D is 0. Okay, next. 0 with 8? Yes, 0 with 8 also you get only one variable difference, that is A. Dash 0, 0, 0. So this is how we group the cells. So all the variables that are present in group 1 are to be combined with or to be matched with group 1. So that they differ in only one position. This shall write for the last table. It is not required for this table. Now we have compared all the mean terms that are present in 0 with 1. Now what is our, and this will be the first grouping in second table. This will be the second grouping, first grouping in second table. Now what is group 1? Compare all the mean terms that are present in group 1 with 2. This we have got by comparing all the mean terms in group 0 with group 1. Now this table, now we are comparing all the mean terms that are present in group 1 with group 2. Group 2. So compare all the mean terms that are present in group 1 with group 2. That means compare 1 with 3, 1 with 6, 1 with 9. 2 with 3, 2 with 6, 2 with 9. 8 with 3, 8 with 6, 8 with 9. Are you getting? You have to compare all the mean terms that are present in this group with all the other mean terms that are present in the third group. Fine? Now compare. So what is the grouping you get? Now we are comparing group 1. Let us compare 1 with 3, 1 with 6, 1 with 9. Compare 1 with 3. What is 1? 0, 0, 0, 1. What is 3? 0, 0, 1, 1. 0, 0. This is different. C is different. D is same. So can we group 1 and 3? Yes, because there is only one variable difference. So if I group 1 and 3, what is the equation I get? A is taking 0 for both, B is taking 0 for both, C is different. So C it is dash. D is 1. So 1 and 3 we have grouped. And most important, I forgot to tell you, once you group it, you need to tick in the previous table. Now we have grouped 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 8. So when you group 0, you just tick. 1 we have grouped 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 8. In the next table we have grouped 1 and 3. 1 is already ticked, now you tick 3. Whichever grouping you do, that particular mean term has to be ticked. Why? I will tell you. Okay? So now 1 with 3, you are done. Now compare 1 with 6, 0, B is different, C is also different, D is also different. So how many variable difference is there? 3 variable. Can we include that group 1 and 6 in the next table? No. What is the rule? There should be only one variable difference. and I don't tick 6 also. Tick I will not, 6 I will not tick, correct? Compare 1 with 9. If you compare 1 with 9, A is different, B is same, C is same, D is same. Now only A is different. So I group 1 and 9. So I tick 1 is already ticked, I will tick 9. So next grouping is 1 and 9. 1 with 9. So what do you get? 1 with 9 dash 0 0 1. Next. Now we have compared 1 with 3 6 9. Next you compare 2 with 3. If you compare 2 with 3, 0, B is different, C is same, D is same. So now can I group 2 and 3? Yes, you can group. 2 is already ticked, 3 is also ticked. So combine 2 and 3 now. If you group 2 and 3, what is the equation you get? A is 0, B is what? B is 0, only C is what? A is 0, B is 0, C is also 0, only D is changing, correct? We are grouping 2 and 3, so just concentrate on 2 and 3. 2 and 3. A is same, B is same, C is same, D is different. So 0 0 1 dash. So 0 0, I'm sorry, D 0 0 1 dash. That is when we group 2 and 3. Now you group 2, match 2 with 6. 0 0. 0 1. B is different. C is same, D is same. So what do we get? Can we group 2 and 6? Yes. Now 2 and 6 we are grouping tick 6 also. So when you group 2 and 6, what is the equation we get? 2 and 6, A is 0. B is dash, C is 1, D is 0. So 2 and 6. Now compare 2 with 9. If you compare 2 with 9, A is different, B is same, C is also different, right? 2 and 9, yes, A is different, B is same, C is different, D is also different, so we cannot group 2 and 9. 2 and 9 cannot be grouped, leave. Now you compare 8 and 8 with 3. A is different, B is same, C is different, D is different, so cannot group. Compare 8 with 6. A is different, B is different, C is different, D is same. Cannot group because more than one variable difference is there. Compare 8 with 9. A is same, B is same, C is same, only D is different. So can we group 8 and 9? Only D is different here. So I can group 8 and 9. So if you group 8 and 9, what is the equation you get? A is same, B is 0, C is 0, D is different, so D is dash. So these are the mean terms, these are the groupings that I have got when I group 1 and 2. Same way you compare 2 and 3. Okay? So I don't have space. You have to write it below. Since I don't have space there, let me continue here. I write group 2 here. Group 2 is what? Group 2 I get when I compare all the mean terms that are present in group 2 with 3. So compare 3 with 7. 3 with 7 if you compare, 0, difference, same. So can I group 3 and 7? Can I group 3 and 7? Yes, because 3 and 7 if I compare, same. B is different, C is same, D is same. So I can compare 3 and 7. So if I compare 3 and 7, what is the equation I get? 0 dash 1 1. 0 dash 1 1. Tick 7. Tick 7. Okay. So now, next 3 with 14. A is different, B is different, C is same, D is different. No, 3 variables are different here. I cannot group. So 14 I will not take because I am not grouping. Now start with 6. 6 and 7, same, different. So 6 and 7 can be grouped. So if you group 6 and 7, what do I get? 0, 1, 1 dash. 6 and 14, different, same. Yeah, 6 and 14 can also be grouped. So tick 14. 6 and 14 if you group, what do you get? Dash, 1, 1, 0 you get. Next, 9 with 7. Different. No, not possible. 9 with 14. Same. Different. No. not possible. So in group 2 you have only this. What is the next grouping? Compare all the mean terms present in group 3 with 4. Compare 7 with 15. Different? Same, same, same. Yes, I can group 7 and 15. So 7 comma 15. If I group, what will happen? Dash 1, 1, 1. Compare 14 with 15. Same, same, same. Different. Yes. I can also group 14 and 15. So what is the grouping I get? 1, 1, 1, dash. So we have grouped, we have compared all the mean terms that are present in group N, with group N with group N plus 1. Every mean term with the next group, all the mean terms, and these are the groupings we have got. How have we grouped? We have grouped only if they are different in only one position. So this is your second table. Let me verify with the answer. What are, okay, 1 and 3, 1 and 9, 2, 3, 2, 6, 8, 9, correct? 3, 7, 6, 7, 6, 14, yeah, correct. So this is our table 2, and you have to check whether all the mean terms are ticked or not. If any of the term is not ticked, that has to be included in the last table, I tell you. But now all the mean terms are ticked. So this is our third table, right? Now let us write the next table, that is fourth table. So what is fourth table? Same procedure, whatever we did now, we have to repeat. That means we did compare the mean terms in second table with by comparing the mean terms in the second table, we have written the third table. Now how do we write the fourth table? Just see here, group, same columns, mean term, A, B, C, D. Okay, so now again, compare the mean terms that are present in group N with group N plus 1 such that groups 4 can be made or not. What is the condition? Dash should be in the same position plus there should be only one variable difference. That means the next table we are constructing by comparing the mean terms that are present in the previous table. This is our previous table now. This is our third table. Fourth table is constructed by grouping the mean terms that are present in the third table. Now just have a look here. I have to compare all the mean terms that are present in group 0 with group 1, group 1 with 2, 2 with 3. Okay? Now first table, first group. Compare all the mean terms present in group 0 with group 1. Start with 0, 1. Compare 0, 1 with 1, 3. What is the condition? Dash should be in the same position. First condition. Dash is in the same position. If I group 0 and 1, 3, dash is in the same position? No. So not possible. Don't check the other condition. Then just check where dash is in this particular grouping. We have taken the first group, that is 0, 1. Dash is in the D variable. Just check where the dash is present for D variable for this combination. 2 and 3. So I can group 0, 1 with 2, 3. First condition is satisfied. Dash is in the same position. The other condition is what? There should be only one variable difference. So just check. A is 0. B is 0. C is different. C is 0 here. C is 1 here. Only one variable difference. Plus dash is in the same position. So go for it. Group 0, 1 with 2, 3. So what do you get? A is what? 0. B is what? 0. C is what? C is only difference, and for D, dash. Dash, dash. So I have group 0, 1 with 2, 3. Tick. Tick is very important. Any other grouping with 0, 1? Yes, dash is in the same position. Dash is at D, dash is at D. Check. A is different. B is 0, C is 0, dash is in the same position, so I can group 0, 1 with 8, 9 also. Group 0, 1 with 8, 9. So if you group, what do you get? Dash, 0, 0, dash. Correct? For A it is dash, B 0, C 0, D dash. Correct? So now, we have compared 0, 1 with the mean terms present in first group. Now compare 0, 2. Dash is for C. Just check. Yeah, here dash is for C. There should be only one variable difference. Just check. Can we group 0, 2 with 1, 3? A is 0, B is 0, dash is in the same position, and there is only one variable difference, that is D. So I can group 0, 2 with 1, 3. 0, 2 with 1, 3. Otherwise, you can check here. Already 0, 2, 1, 3 grouping is done. So you need not go for the grouping. Already 0, 2, 1, 3 is already grouped. So you need not group, but you can tick. See, 0 is there, 2 is there, 1 is there, 3 is there. That means this grouping already we have done. No need to write it again. 0 to 1, 3 already we have written. So no need to write it, but you can tick. Right? So now, just check where any other places we have got dash to C except this? No. So over. Now compare 0, 8 with these terms. Dash is in the A position. Dash is for A variable. Just check. Yeah, dash is here. 0, 8, 1, 9. Already grouped. 0, 8, 1, 9. Need not group it again. Just take 0, 8, 1, 9. Any other places? No. That's all. That's all. So we have compared all the terms present in group 0 with group 1. So over. 2, 6 is not ticked. You have to be very careful. 2, 6 is not ticked. That is important. That will take it at the last, for the last table. Now the first grouping is done. What is the second group? Compare all the terms present in group 1 with group 2. Start from 1, 3. Compare 1, 3 with 3, 7, 6, 7, 6, 14. Dash is for C. Dash is for C? No. So not possible for 1, 3. 1, 9. Dash is for A. Yes. Dash is for A. First condition is satisfied. Check for the other condition. That means there should be only one variable difference. So can I group 1, 9 with 6, 14? Dash is in the same position. 0, 0, 1. 1, 1, 0. So this is different. Only B is different. So I can group 1 and 9 with 6 and 14. So this is group 1. 1 and 9 with 6 and 14. Dash is in the same position. Only B is different. That is dash. So it is what? 1, 0. So tick 6, 14 and 1, 9. Okay. Now any other places? No. Now compare 2, 3. Dash is for the last variable. 2, 3, 6, 7. 2, 3, 6, 7. 2, 3, 6, 7. Is it possible? A is 0, B is 1, C is 1, dash. Correct. 2, 3, 6, 7 if you group. Just check what do you get. 2, 3, 6, 7. What do you get? 0, 0, 1 dash. 0 dash 1 dash. Correct? 0 dash 1 dash. Because only B variable is different. So tick 2, 3, 6, 7. 2, 3 is ticked already. Now any other places? No. Now start comparing 2 and 6. Dash is for B variable. Just check. Yeah, dash is for B variable. The other condition is what? There should be only one variable difference. So 0 dash. Here we have 1, 1. So 0 dash 1. D variable is different. So I can compare 2, 6 with 3, 7. It is already done. 2, 6 with 3, 7. Let us not write it again, but let us tick it. Tick. Okay. So next. 2, 6 is done. Compare 8. Start 8, 9. 8, 9 dash is for D variable. So 8, 9, 6, 7. 8, 9, 6, 7 can we group? A is different. B is also different. See here, if I cannot group 8, 9 with 6, 7 because A is 1 here, A is 0 here. So one variable difference. B is 0 here, B is 1 here. So two variable difference I get. So I cannot group 8, 9 with 6, 7. Okay. So this is group 1. Now what is next table? Compare group 2 midterms with this. Compare 3, 7 with 7, 15. Can we group? No. 3, 7 with 14, 15? No. 6, 7 with 7, 15? Dash? No. 6, 7 with 14, 15? Dash is at the last place. 6, 7 with 14, 15. Dash is in the same position and there is only one variable difference. So can I group 6, 7 with 14, 15? Yes. Because in both dash is for the last position B and there is only one variable difference, that is A. So dash 1, 1. So tick 6, 7, 14, 15. Start 6, 14. Dash, yeah, dash is in the same position. 1. 1 dash. So 6 7 6 14 7 15 already grouped, so tick. So in this particular table all the mean terms are ticked. So we have written the next table. What is the next step? Again create the next table by comparing the group of the mean terms that are present in next table, that is 4th, 5th table with this. Compare this with this, this with this. Is there any possibility to form groups of 8 or not? Okay, so that is our next table. Okay, so now we did groups of 4, right? So now what is our next step? We have to check whether groups of 8 can be made or not. Groups of 8. So how do we check that? Now we have to construct another table. By comparing the mean terms that are present in this table. So this is the table we just now constructed by looking at the previous table, right? So now compare the mean terms that are there in group 0 with 1, 1 with 2. When you compare 0, 1, 2, 3 with 1, 9, with the mean terms that are present in group 0 with group 1, what is the condition we have? The first condition is dashes must be in the same position. Where do we have dash for the first term? C and D. Now when we are comparing this with the mean terms of this group, dashes must be in the same position. We have dash for C and D. Just see whether we have dash for C and D for the mean terms present in group 1. No. And what is the second condition? If the dashes are in the same position, you have to go for the second condition. That is, one variable difference should be there. Dashes are not in the same position. So there is no point in checking out the second condition. Leave. Compare this with these two. Dashes are for A and D variable. Here, no. So not possible. I cannot group the terms present in group 0 with 1. Now check the mean terms present in group 1 with 2. First term, dashes are in A, B. No. Second term, dashes are in for the variable B and D. No, not possible. That means we cannot construct the next table. This is the last grouping, last table that we could do. If it is possible for some problems, you have to go for grouping 8 mean terms. So next table also you have to construct. But for this problem it is not possible, so I am not going for the next table. And once you are done with that, once you group comparing all the mean terms present in each group with the next group, once you are done with the table, here I am not going for groups of 8 because it is not possible for this problem. For some problems, if groups of 8 can be made, how do you group 8 mean terms? Dashes must be in the same position and there should be only one variable difference. If that option is there, you have to construct the next table also. Now it is not possible for this problem, so I will go for the next last step, almost the last step, that is, once you are done with grouping the terms, the next table we call it as prime implicant table. That is what the table, how to construct the table is, the first column is prime implicant, the second column is mean terms, I take it as mean terms, and third column is decimal equivalent value. That means you write all the mean terms, these are the decimal equivalent value, right, for the mean terms. Write all the mean terms that are given in the question as it is. Prime implicant table, write all the mean terms as it is in the question. 0, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 15, right? As it is in the question, I am writing the mean terms. Complete question terms, mean terms, you just copy it here in the table. Now, here, you have to write all unchecked groups. Let me repeat, in the prime implicant table, you are going to write all unticked, unchecked groups. Start from the first table. That means when we start grouping the cells, that is from the third table, right? First table we just write the decimal value, second table we arrange in increasing order. Start from third table. We have started grouping the mean terms from third table, right? Just see whether in third tables any of the groups are unticked, or you have to start from the second table, the terms. Just check whether any of the groups are unticked. To form the third table, you have used the mean terms in second table, right? Just check whether all the mean terms are ticked, checked or not. If any of the mean term is not checked, that means it is not grouped, you have to write it here. So for this problem, second table all the terms are ticked. You can cross check. And third table, that is this table, all the terms are ticked, right? And in this table, no mean term is ticked. That means these are, have I ticked these mean terms? No, right? So these are unchecked. Now I have to include these here. You have to start from the second table. If any of the mean term is not ticked, all the mean terms has to be written here. So here the groups are, first group which is unticked is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what is the prime implicant? Just see here. When I group 0, 1, 2, 3, what I have got? C and D variable I have completely eliminated. So what do I have? I have A bar, B bar. That is your prime implicant. A bar, B bar is your prime implicant. So which are the mean terms you have covered? 0, 1, 2, 3. Put a cross mark for that. 0, 1, 2, 3. Put a cross mark for it. Write the term, write the prime implicant. Put a cross mark for the mean terms that are grouped with this prime implicant. Now the second group which is not ticked, which is unchecked is 0, 1, 8, 9. So write that also. 0, 1, 8, 9. 0, 1, 8, 9. What is the term we get? A is eliminated, B is eliminated. It is B bar, C bar. So B bar, C bar. Put a cross mark for the mean terms. 0, 1, 8, 9. Correct? Next. This one, 1, 9, 6, 14. 1, 9, 6, 14. What is the prime implicant we get? C, D bar. 1, 9, 6, 14. 1, 9, 6, 14. Correct? Then 2, 3, 6, 7. 2, 3, 6, 7. What is the term we get? A bar, C. So it is A bar, C. Put a cross mark for the mean term. 2, 3, 6, 7. 2, 3, 6, 7. Next. The last grouping 6, 7, 14, 15. 6, 7, 14, 15. Right? So what is the term we get? BC. We get BC. 6, 7, 14, 15. Okay. 6, 7, 14, 15. Okay. So this is how you construct the table. If in the second table 2 is unchecked, if you have not covered 2, you have to write 2. For example, if 2 is not covered. Similarly, in the next table, if 0, 1 are not grouped, you have to write it. But for this problem, all the mean terms in group 2, table 2, table 3 are ticked. Only in this table, none of the mean terms are covered. We were not able to construct the next table. So all these are unchecked, unticked. So I have to include all these here. Okay. So now after you write the prime implicant table, what you have to do is just see every column, just check every column here. Mark the column which is having a single X. Let me call this as an X. Mark or check the column where you have single X. 2 I have, 3 I have, 2 I have, 2 I have, 3 I have, 2 I have. In this particular column, I can find only one X, right? So mark that. Here 2 I have, 2 I have. Here I have only 1. Okay? And those columns which contains a single X, that corresponding prime implicant will be considered as EPI. In your switching equation, you should, in the equation, what you should have? You should have only EPI, right? EPI. What is the meaning of EPI? In that particular group, minimum one mean term is unique. That is what the meaning, right? So, if you find a single X in that column, that means this particular grouping, this particular prime implicant, which is unique, 8 is unique. Just check whether 8 is being covered by any other grouping. No, right? 8 is covered only by this grouping 0, 1, 8, 9. Only by this grouping. That means whichever column you find single x, what does it mean? That mean term is unique for that particular grouping. That particular corresponding prime implicant will become essential prime implicant. Now in your equation you will have these two terms for sure. What is that? BC and B bar C. These two are EPL. Now once you mark this, let me repeat. You have to check for single x in a column. Single x. Mark the corresponding PI, that will be your PI. And what you do is, in this particular term, which are the terms are covered? 0, 1, 8, 9. You just cancel 0, 1, 8, 9. Fine. In this particular prime implicant, 6, 7, 14, 15 are covered. 6, 7, 14, 15 are covered. Just cancel it. Now we have to construct the another table, next table, that is called reduced prime implicant table. This table is called prime implicant table. Next table is called as reduced prime implicant table. Reduced prime implicant table. So in the reduced prime implicant table, again you have the same column, prime implicant, mean term, and here you are not going to write all the mean terms. You will be writing only the mean terms which are not cancelled. Here 0 is cancelled, 1 is cancelled, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 15 are covered. Which is not covered? 2, 3. So write only 2 and 3. Write only 2 and 3. Okay. So now this is an EPI, this is an EPI. Right? And now 2, 3 are covered by which prime implicant? 2, 3. This is 2, 3, 2, 3. These two are covered by, or these two are, even if a prime implicant covers any one of these also, we have to take it to the next table. Now 2, 3 we are left out with 2 and 3. One prime implicant which is covering 2 and 3 is this 0, 1, 2, 3. This has to be included in the next table. 0, 1. Why am I including 0, 1, 2, 3 only? Because I am left with 2 and 3. Now I have to see the grouping which covers 2 and 3. Okay, this is one group which is A bar, B bar. Any other grouping which covers 2 and 3? Just check. Yes, we have. Which is that? 2, 3, 6, 7. 2, 3, 6, 7. So what is that? A bar, C. Correct? A bar, C. Now this covers 2, this covers 3. This also covers 2, this also covers 3. If any of the term prime implicant covers only 2, that also has to be included here. Only 3, that also has to be included here. But in this table, both are covering both 2 and 3. That is the reason I have taken both 2 and 3. But if they are covering a particular mean term alone, then also has to be included in the next table. Now we have identified two EPI, B bar, C bar, BC, which covers 0, 1, 8, 9, 6, 7, 14, 15. Now only 2, 3 are not covered. For that we have identified the grouping. Either I have to go for 0, 1, 2, 3 or 2, 3, 6, 7. Just see here. Now the question is whether these two are to be included in the final equation or not. What is your answer? See, this particular prime implicant is covering both 2 and 3. This also is covering 2 and 3. Why to take both? Take any one in your final equation. That means your final equation will be G is equal to f of A, B, C, D is equal to, what is your first EPI? B bar, C bar plus second EPI B, C plus either you take this or you take this. So your answer will be A bar, B bar, or D is equal to B bar, C bar plus BC plus A bar, C. Either this or this. So for this particular problem, we have two solutions, this or this. Why to take only one term? Any one term? Because this is also covering 2 and 3. This is also covering 2 and 3. Why to take both? Take any one. Then only it will become an EPI. Correct. So this is the final answer we have got. Now what we do is, let us check this with K-map also. Let us check the solution for this problem but with K-map also. So let us do that. Okay, let me do it. Let me solve the K-map problem here. I've got a space here. Right? So K-map, let me solve. So all of you have the answer. So how many variable K-map it is? 4 variable K-map. It's a 4 variable K-map. One second. So all of you can write the 4 variable K-map. All of you please write the 4 variable K-map till I adjust the camera. Now I'll write the 4 variable K-map here. Okay. So what is this? A, B, C, D. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Right? So name the cells. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Fill them in terms. 0, 1, 2, 3. 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 14, 15, 14, 15. Now forget about min matrix. Just try to group this. Can you group 0, 1, 2, 3? Can you group 0, 1, 2, 3? Yes, you can group 0, 1, 2, 3. And what is the equation you get? A bar, B bar. If you group 0, 1, 2, 3, you get A bar, B bar. How do you cover 8 and 9? How do you cover 8 and 9? You can cover 8 and 9. 8, 9, 0, 1. 0, 1, 8, 9. Correct? So if you group 0, 1, 8, 9, what is the equation you get? 0, 1, 8, 9. What is the equation you get? 0, 1, 8, 9. A's cancelled. It is B bar, C bar. B bar, C bar. Now how do you cover 6, 7, 15, 14? 6, 7, 15, 14 is another group. 6, 7, 15, 14. Is that right? So 6, 7, 15, 14 is one grouping. So if you group this, what is the equation you get? If you group this, I get B, C. Now what is the answer we get? T is equal to A bar, B bar plus BC plus B bar, C bar. Just look at the mean terms grouping. I have got the equation as A bar, B bar plus, okay, A bar, B bar plus BC plus B bar C. Now, A bar, B bar I have got when I group 0, 1, 2, 3. When you group 0, 1, 2, 3, you get A bar, B bar, right? So we have A bar, B bar in our final equation. How did you get BC? By grouping 6, 7, 14, 15. Just have a look here. 6, 7, 14, 15. When you group, you will get BC. You will get BC. The next grouping is 8, 9, 10, 11. When you group 8, 9, 0, 1. When you group 8, 9, 0, 1, you have got B bar, C bar. That is what I have written here. Or one more possible grouping is what? If you group 0, 1, 8, 9, that is you get B bar, C bar. Plus, for this you get BC plus, you can cover 2, 3 by grouping 2, 3, 6, 7. 2, 3, 6, 7. So that will give you A bar C. Till now whatever we did from last around 45 minutes, within one step we have got the answer using K-map. So whatever the grouping we do in K-map, the same grouping only we have done using Quinn-McCluskey method. 0, 1, 2, 3. Yes, 0, 1, 2, 3. 8, 9, 10, 0, 1, 8, 9, 0, 1, 6, 7, 15, 14, 6, 7, 15, 14, or 2, 3, 6, 7, 2, 3, 6, 7, same grouping only we have done, but that is a different technique of grouping the cells, but it takes a lot of time to get the final equation. But the answer you can cross verify by using K-map always. I'll solve another problem and I'll upload the video, but just try to understand the question and try to solve whatever the problems we have solved using K-map now, till now. though all the problems can also be solved using Quinn-McCluskey technique. So for the next class, have a practice, try to solve one more problem. You can take any problem what we have solved using K-map and try to solve using Quinn-McCluskey method. Okay, thank you.